every time he stepped onto the pitch, someone was about to suffer.
Ronaldo!
From destroying defenders in the Premier League to silence in the Camp Nou, Cristiano Ronaldo has left a trail of broken victims.
But we lost against him, not against United.
From Lamine Yamal to Diego Simeone to Manuel Neuer. Who are Ronaldo's biggest victims and which teams feared him the most? Even at 40 years old, Ronaldo is still writing new chapters in his career.
Listen, I think it's remarkable what he's doing at 40. I think he's a shining example to any youngster that's making their way into professional football.
In the 2025 UEFA Nations League final, Portugal faced Spain in a game that many thought would mark the start of a new era. On one side was Ronaldo, the legend nearing the end. On the other was 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, football's rising star. Yamal was really in form after having just scored a brace against France in the semifinals. He had completely outplayed Dembele in what many people saw as a battle between the two Ballon d'Or contenders. So going into this Nations League final, there was more hype than normal.
Well, of course, he's a football legend. I have huge respect for Cristiano. I will do my job, which is to try to win, and that's it.
I mean, how often do you see two great players of two different generations playing in the same game? A 17-year-old versus a 40-year-old. Yamal's father is younger than Ronaldo, and Yamal is only 3 years older than Ronaldo's eldest son. Two galaxies coming together. The match was tight. Spain actually led 2-1, and it looked like the young team might do it. But then, as he's done so many times before, Ronaldo stepped up.
Flicked across, Ronaldo! And that's why he's on the field. Big game player.
The match went to penalties, and Portugal came out on top.
Saved! Ruben Neves has the chance to win the Nations League for Portugal. No problem!
When the final whistle blew, Ronaldo dropped to his knees and cried. He had just won his third trophy with Portugal.
Portugal are bringing it home again. For a player who's won absolutely everything, this is what winning things for your country means.
At the same time, Yamal stood on the sidelines. He had been unreal all season, dominating in each final he had played.
And he equalizes for Barcelona.
But it wasn't meant to be that night. He had played too passive, looked a shadow of himself. He had a few good moments, like the cross that led to Spain's first goal.
Yamal clipping it in, it bounces right in front of goal.
But Portugal shut him down for most of the game. Yamal had been one of the best players at the 2024 Euros, but at that moment he could only watch as the old master lifted another trophy. On a night that was supposed to be Yamal's, it was Ronaldo who stole the show. I witnessed a 40-year-old man press and defend more in that final than Mbappe did all season for Real Madrid.
I think sometime in the life I'm too competitive, you know, it's good to be competitive.
It wasn't one of the most iconic CR7 performances we had seen over the years. He had barely touched the ball, but all he needed was one chance, and he took that chance when his country needed him the most. Not the prettiest goal, but it didn't have to be. They all count the same. And he scored a goal that not many other players on that Portugal team would have scored if they were in his shoes. And remember, he's 40 years old. Many people at that age are fatter than Lizzo. Meanwhile, CR7 was still playing at the highest level.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in life. You have to challenge yourself.
Has no shot on target, missed a big chance, then he's coming off at half-time. Amad Diallo comes in for him.
United, I think, would necessarily have to let him go on a free, whether on loan or on a permanent move, and I think he's going to have to take less money at his next club.
In the eyes of many, Ronaldo had been out of sight and out of mind after leaving United. Then his performances in the World Cup and Euros suggested that father time had caught up. But on that night, he showed the footballing world that there's still some juice left in those legs. The result was a powerful image.
And today he wasn't that good, but he was always sharp to know exactly, and the goal shows his talent and his flair and of course his experience. So that's good for Portugal and for the next year. And
Ronaldo lifting the Nations League trophy high in the air while Yamal looked on. The king wasn't ready to give up his throne just yet. When we talk about Ronaldo's iconic performances for Portugal and his victims, it's impossible not to discuss Sweden. It was November of 2013. Portugal and Sweden were fighting for a spot at the 2014 World Cup. Only one team could make it. It was supposed to be a battle between two giants, Cristiano Ronaldo versus Zlatan.
The Ibrahimovic v Ronaldo show that will decide whether Sweden or Portugal go to the World Cup in Brazil. One
would go to Brazil, the other would watch the tournament from their couch. And this was a big deal because both players were incredibly in form for their respective club teams. Ronaldo was killing it for Real Madrid, and Zlatan was at his peak at PSG. So no matter the result, one of these superstars was going to receive heavy criticism for not taking their country to the most prestigious tournament in world football. In the first leg, Ronaldo scored the only goal, giving Portugal a small lead. But the second leg in Stockholm was where things got really juicy. Moutinho slipped a perfect through ball through Sweden's back line. Ronaldo sprinted onto it and smashed a powerful shot across the keeper. 1-0 Portugal on the night, 2-0 on aggregate.
They're one step closer to Brazil.
Sweden needed 3 goals now, and suddenly they came alive.
Well, beyond him, but in! Ibrahimovic has finally arrived!
Zlatan rose high to head in a corner, 1-1. Moments later, he blasted in a free kick from just outside the box.
It's Ibrahimovic! He's done it!
But just when Sweden were beginning to heat up, Ronaldo showed that he wasn't done.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
He responded with a goal of his own, his second.
It's Ronaldo who can break again. And can he kill the Swedish dream? He has done, surely.
Before they could even process what had happened, Ronaldo struck again. Hat-trick.
The chance for Ronaldo again. Hat-trick. He has written his name all over this tie. And there is no doubt now. He's paved their path to Rio.
3 goals in 29 minutes. 4 goals across both legs. And all by Cristiano Ronaldo.
Irrepressible, irreplaceable, a rampant Ronaldo has delivered a magnificent individual performance.
Sweden had no answers. Even Zlatan, who had scored twice himself, couldn't do more. Ronaldo had stolen the show and ended Sweden's World Cup dreams. As the final whistle blew, Portugal celebrated. They were going to Brazil, and Ronaldo had once again proven why, when everything is on the line, there's few better than him. He had written another legendary chapter, and Sweden became another victim of his greatness. Ronaldo did a lot of damage with the Portuguese national team, but his biggest victims undoubtedly came from his club career. And one team that felt his wrath right from the beginning was Arsenal.
Forgive me to don't join Arsenal.
I have a gift for you.
When Cristiano Ronaldo first arrived at Manchester United, he was just a skinny teenager with flashy stepovers. But it didn't take long before he became a nightmare for one of England's best teams, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal. Every time he played against them, it felt personal. Because remember, this was back when United were actually good at football, and Arsenal were winning silverware, so it was a real rivalry. Let me take you back to February of 2005. Manchester United traveled to Highbury for a huge Premier League clash. Arsenal were the defending champions, but Ronaldo, well, he had other plans. In the space of just 4 minutes, he scored 2 quick goals.
Oh, chance Manchester United! Goal! Manchester United! Cristiano Ronaldo squares it up again! Ronaldo, it must be it is! Manchester United lead 3-2!
United won 4-2, and Ronaldo had officially arrived as a big game player. Then came the 2007-2008 season, a season where United would go on to win the league and the Champions League. The two teams faced off again, this time not at Highbury but at the Emirates, but the result was the same. Ronaldo scored again. Later in that same season, at Old Trafford, he scored a penalty against Arsenal, blasting it past Almunia. It was another reminder that Ronaldo wasn't afraid of Arsenal. As good as these performances were, you could argue it was the 2009 Champions League semi-final where Ronaldo truly broke Arsenal fans' hearts. United had won the first leg 1-0 at Old Trafford and went to the Emirates with one mission: finish the job. And Ronaldo did it in style.
Too far for Ronaldo to think about it. Oh! Absolutely sensational!
United were heading to the final, and Arsenal were done. Ronaldo finished the game with 2 goals and an assist. Wenger stood on the sidelines helpless. After the match, he even admitted Arsenal had no way of stopping Ronaldo. Years later, he even confessed how close the Gunners were to signing Ronaldo when he was just a teenager.
I thought it was possible, and if he had been a fraction quicker.
But instead of wearing red and white, Ronaldo spent years tearing Arsenal apart. Ronaldo dominated England, but his biggest victim was actually in Spain.
Ronaldo Oblak! Ronaldo!
And that was Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. I'm not sure if one player has ever destroyed one team as much as Ronaldo has raw-dogged Atletico. Time and time again, he showed up to break their hearts. Whether it was in La Liga, the Copa del Rey, or the Champions League, it didn't matter. Ronaldo delivered. And for Atletico fans, he became the villain that they could never escape from. The pain started early and never really stopped.
Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo!
In 2014, Atletico were dreaming of their first ever Champions League title. They led 1-0 in the final against Real Madrid deep into stoppage time. But then, of course, came the Sergio Ramos equalizer. Then in extra time, Madrid ran riot. And to cap it all off, Ronaldo stepped up in the 120th minute and blasted home a penalty, flexing his muscles as Atletico collapsed to the ground. This was just the first time that he denied them European glory. Then came 2016, another Champions League final, and with it, another nightmare. This time, the game went all the way to penalties.
It's hit the post and come out.
Who stepped up for the final kick? Well, CR7 of course. Once again, Atletico had come so close, and once again, Ronaldo was the one who ended their dream.
It is Real Madrid who win the UEFA Champions League.
In 2017, he delivered one of the most brutal blows yet. Champions League semi-final, first leg of the Santiago Bernabeu, and Ronaldo was unstoppable. He scored all 3 goals in a 3-0 win, a perfect hat-trick. One with his head, one with his left, one with his right. They had no answer for him. Simeone stood on the touchline, watching Ronaldo bend over his team once more. Even in domestic games, Ronaldo punished them. In November 2016, he scored a hat-trick at the Vicente Calderón. That game marked the last Madrid derby ever played at that historic stadium, and Ronaldo made sure that Atletico fans would remember it for all the wrong reasons. Now here's the funny part. When Ronaldo moved to Italy, Simeone thought he was free. They were no longer going to see Ronaldo. But then, the two were drawn against each other in the round of 16 of the Champions League. This was Ronaldo's first season away from Real Madrid after making the move to Juve. He had come in with the expectation of helping Juventus become European champions.
Como disse também, nos últimos 4 anos fui a 2 finais de Champions, por isso eu acho que é passo à frente na minha carreira, conquistar coisas juntos e a Juventus me meter num patamar ainda maior e eu também ajudar a meter a Juventus ainda num patamar superior.
But Atletico Madrid felt this was their opportunity.
¿Tuviste ese aroma? Que cambia la cosa.
After all, Ronaldo was no longer with Real Madrid. Having Mr. Champions League be on the team that is considered the kings of the competition was a pretty unfair combo. There was hope among Atletico Madrid fans that while talented, Juventus had some weaknesses. After all, they had lost to United and Young Boys in the group stages. Ronaldo was also older. They saw this as a moment of redemption and took it. They beat Ronaldo and the old lady 2-0 in the first leg. What a weird sentence. So going into the second leg, there was extreme pressure on Ronaldo's shoulders. He had to show that he was still a top player, that the large fee paid for him was justified, and that he could still find success in the Champions League without Los Blancos.
Cristiano, ¿qué? Ahora 5 y a dormir, ¿eh? Cristiano, 5 ¿qué?
Llorar, a Turín, a llorar. Ya está, 2-0, ni manita ni nada, 2-0 y fuera.
Pues adiós, vaya Italia, no vuelva.
Calentito aquí. Ay, para Italia.
Down 2-0, it was going to take a historic performance from Mr. Champions League to bring Juve back from the dead.
Tuesday night, let's thinking positive, let's believe it's possible.
And that's exactly what he provided.
Who's going to be the man to get them out of trouble? And there's only ever one man. On a memorable night in Turin, no surprise who the hero is, has done the damage.
After his hat-trick, he celebrated with the Cojones celebration in front of the Spanish fans. It was a direct answer to Simeone's own celebration after Atletico Madrid's second goal in the first leg. He got a fine from UEFA, but Ronaldo had done exactly what he wanted to do. His rivalry with Atletico wasn't just about goals, it was about timing. He always delivered in the moments that mattered the most. He had once again shown that he owned Atletico, even when he was in a different country. Now, speaking of other countries, we have to move around the globe a bit more to find Ronaldo's next victim. Specifically, we have to go to Germany. No, Ronaldo wasn't eating schnitzels here. He was making the best goalie in the world look like Onana. I'm just kidding. That's disrespectful to Neuer. He actually makes saves.
There's always a lot of talk that when players go one-on-one against Manuel Neuer, they sometimes get afraid.
Hello, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo.
Neuer and Bayern Munich suffered a lot in the Champions League due to CR7. Ronaldo didn't just score once or twice. He scored 10 goals past Neuer, more than any other player ever has against arguably the greatest goalie of all time. And keep in mind, Ronaldo never even played in the Bundesliga. All of this happened in the biggest games, under the brightest lights. Let's start with 2014. It was the Champions League semi-final. Real Madrid versus the defending champions, Bayern Munich. The first leg in Madrid ended 1-0 to Real, but the second leg in Munich is where things got out of control. Ronaldo destroyed Bayern 4-0 in their own stadium. He scored 2 goals that night.
It's Ronaldo, in, under it. It is the perfect ending to the perfect night.
Fast forward to 2017. This time it was the quarterfinals. Ronaldo turned into a one-man wrecking crew. In the first leg in Munich, Bayern took the lead, but Ronaldo scored twice. Then came the second leg at the Bernabeu. Bayern gave everything and even pushed the game into extra time, but that's when Ronaldo took over again. He scored a hat-trick, one of which we know was offside, but still. He had gotten 5 goals in 2 legs and knocked Bayern out of the competition once again. The hat-trick also made him the first player in history to reach 100 Champions League goals.
And talk about the fact that he got a hat-trick and it's 104 or 103 goals now that he scored in European competitions. How does he do it, Stevie?
And he did it by burying one of the best teams in Europe and their world-class keeper. In the battle between Ronaldo and Bayern, there was always one winner, and he wore white. Now, if you thought Neuer was the only elite goalie to become Ronaldo's victim, you would be wrong.
No.
Because Gianluigi Buffon also felt the wrath of CR7's underwear. Before Ronaldo ever wore the black and white stripes of Juve, he was the man who tormented them.
Ronaldo's coming in and he's gone there again. And Real Madrid strike twice in quick succession. And it's 2 on the night for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Time and time again, when Juve dreamed of European glory, it was Ronaldo who ended those dreams. They were like the Italian Atletico Madrid, and nobody felt it more than Buffon.
Quello che darà Ronaldo mi auguro che possa essere quello che ha dato a tutte le squadre con le quali ha giocato, quello che non darà la Juve, cioè dei dispiaceri, perché è questo, quindi ti sei...
In 2013, Ronaldo scored a powerful header against Juve in the group stage, a warning of what was to come. Then came the 2015 Champions League semi-final. Now, Juve managed to get past Real Madrid then, but not without Ronaldo scoring. Even when Juve won, they couldn't stop him. But it was in the 2017 Champions League final in Cardiff that Ronaldo truly broke the hearts of the lasagna lovers. Juve had been the best defensive team in the tournament. Buffon was in top form. They believed this could finally be their year.
And you wonder tonight whether Cristiano Ronaldo or Gianluigi Buffon.
But Ronaldo, well, he had other plans.
Cristiano Ronaldo! Who else on a big night? Ronaldo's coming in and he's gone there again. And Real Madrid strike twice in quick succession.
Then came April of 2018, and the nightmare reached its peak. Quarterfinal, first leg. Ronaldo had already scored once in this fixture.
Into Ronaldo! Every time they need a goal, Cristiano Ronaldo finds it.
A clever finish inside the box. But the next goal that he would score was the one that made the whole world stop.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational! The greatest marksman in the history of the Champions League with an absolute beauty!
The Juve crowd was stunned, but even they got up and clapped.
You can see around the ground, not just the Real Madrid fans, the Juventus fans.
E nonostante la delusione, e qua vi faccio capire, torniamo a monte quando vi ho detto io non odio nessuno. Io lì dopo chiaramente i primi 25 secondi di frustrazione ero lì e pensavo ma che cavolo di gol mi ha fatto sto qua? Cioè un qualcosa di veramente di bello, cioè seppur io abbia subito tutto ciò non potevo non riconoscere che è stato un gesto incredibile.
Straordinario.
No?
In the second leg, Juve actually fought back and made it 3-3 on aggregate.
Mandzukic! Oh, he's gone to the goal! My oh my, this comeback is well and truly on!
They were seconds away from forcing extra time, but then in stoppage time, Real Madrid won a penalty.
The drama! The push on Lucas Vazquez right at the death!
Ronaldo stepped up and smashed it into the top corner to send Madrid through.
Of course he scores! The greatest player in the history of Real Madrid, the finest goal scorer in the history of the Champions League, with ice running through his veins, and the defending champions live to fight another day.
Another controversial goal, leaving Ronaldo as the hero and the villain again. It's almost poetic that just a few months after that bicycle kick, Ronaldo joined Juve. The man who had been their biggest enemy became their new hope. But for Buffon and many Juve fans, those old wounds remain. Because when they think of the Champions League, they think of the man who stopped them every time. Cristiano Ronaldo was the one guy they couldn't conquer. Now, we can't talk about Ronaldo's victims and not talk about Barca. Unlike the previous victims, Barca actually got the better of Ronaldo on multiple occasions. It wasn't as one-sided as Ronaldo's track record versus Atletico and Bayern and Juve. But even a club as dominant as the Blaugrana found themselves being destroyed by Ronaldo in 90 minutes. Then in extra time came the moment everyone remembers.
Follow that great cross header, goal!
Cristiano Ronaldo! A magnificent header! Real Madrid with a breakthrough!
That goal won Madrid the Copa del Rey, their first major trophy under Mourinho, and it was Ronaldo who helped deliver it. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement from Ronaldo. After 4 games against Barca without a win, he had finally stood tall as the match winner on the biggest stage. After that came his performance in April of 2012 at the Camp Nou. This was the night that Ronaldo helped Real Madrid take control of the league, and he did it right in Barca's own backyard. Because at this point in the season, the title race was very tight. Madrid were ahead, but Barca were in such a massive moment. If I scored a goal like that, I'm running around the pitch with nothing but my underwear. But Ronaldo was far more composed. He didn't scream or jump. Instead, he told the entire stadium to calm down. In that moment, he knew the title was theirs. Now in 2017, when Ronaldo cooked Piqué and put a top bins in the Supercopa de España, he did take his shirt off. Just another iconic moment from CR7. For years, Ronaldo dominated Europe's biggest clubs, breaking Atletico Madrid's hearts, silencing Neuer, ending Arsenal's hopes, and denying Buffon's dream. He beat Zlatan, humbled Yamal, and built a legacy as the ultimate big game player. And even though he's an unk now, a new chapter begins in his journey. Because Portugal isn't just about Ronaldo anymore. It's a team full of young stars ready to rise beside him. To see how Ronaldo and Portugal's new generation are building something special, you have to check out this video right here.